All right, going live. Just have to tweet it out now.
Let me pull up your account. I see you're live.
Yeah,
Right.
give me a minute.
One thing I will recommend to you is that you run an intro. Hire someone from fucking Five or something. Make them create an intro for 30 seconds. Go live. Then that 30-second buffer, you build up anticipation. The audience gets like a catchy tune that they get used to every time, and it adds a little bit to the effect. It's I think that was a big thing for us too, honestly.
I like it, man. I'll definitely do that. Shout out to the people that are here right now without me having to tweet it out. Lero and Jamie, good to have you. Yeah, man, that's my thing. So honestly, like I've talked about it on the stream the past couple of days, how I want to come out, docs, do all of that, start bringing people on as guests. But before I do that, my goal has just been with a bunch of these type of streams just to do as much cleaning up as I can, kind of get a good rhythm, figure out exactly what I want to put in there content wise. And then basically like that little box in the corner that I've got with the Discord logos and stuff with our names, basically be able to put up video, face, and just rotate back between that. So
you should look into the platform called Restream. That's what we use. And it's
really
so incredible because it is almost like an execution terminal for streaming. Like you would stream directly through there. You put all your stream keys in there. The UI is super friendly, and you can just send somebody a link. That's how we bring people on stream. That's how we streamlined it, really, is Restream allows you to invite guests. So I would just send you a link to Restream, and then you would hop in, and you wouldn't have to download anything. You wouldn't have to make an account, and then you can share your screen, share your video. You can do all that jazz. And that's a non-shill plug. I have no deal with Restream to
no. Dude, I've looked into Restream, and I just have never used it before. So, because one of the problems that I have with OBS, right? Like if you're looking at the stream view right now, you can see basically my screens. If I wanted to do a window capture, I've got way too wide of screens for it. And I don't really have room in my desk set up to be able to switch things around. I've just got 2 stacked 49s. So if you capture the entire area of that 49, it's not going to fit the resolution of any streaming platform very well. So you have to do a window capture. Well, the issue is then if you do a window capture, you can't do multiple window captures, which I think is really stupid. So it's not like I can stack multiple screens and multiple windows.
You can. I'll teach you how.
Okay, you've got to send me the DM for how to do that, because it just seems so simple. But every time I add in a second source and I make both of them window capture, if I change the source for the window on one of them, it changes both of them instantly. So what this is right here is I've got the screen capture for this, and I just have the screen completely dragged where it's only that corner that's showing in the live stream portion. Other than that, like the entire screen's being recorded. It's just that portion that's actually showing.
That's funny. Yeah, you can if you hold Alt or Control or Command on your window or on your keyboard, and then try and crop it, it'll fix it.
See, I just clicked that right there, and it immediately goes over to that because I've got screen cap or window capture instead of screen capture. But yeah, no. Anyway.
Yeah, after this stream, we'll walk through it. I'll play with it with you to show you. I'll share my screen with you on Discord so you can see what I was doing previous. But Rookie and I have transitioned to Restream, which has made our lives exponentially easier.
Love it, man. Love it. Okay, well, I just tweeted it out. Usually takes a minute to be able to start getting people in here. And it's interesting going at different times of the day too. Like yesterday, last night, whenever I kicked it off, surprisingly, I get a good amount of people during those super late night Degen hours. And I'm talking to midnight Eastern time. where, you know, Europe should be asleep slash maybe just waking up. And on the other side of it, you know, most of the states should be going to bed also. But, you know, like as far as the number of people that I get live during that, a lot of the times it'll eclipse what you get during, you know, right now in the middle of the workday.
Yeah, it really, like, once you start realizing where your audience is, you have to try and like play with different time zones. But it happens to be that the night, the real Degen hours at night, it's like when you know, the East is or the West is rather like everyone's out of work. It's after 5 p.m. They're getting in bed, and it's as easy as just pulling out your laptop or your phone and watching it from there. And that's like that's probably where you'll get the most movement.
Versus right now, you know, everybody's at work, and if they want to stream, they're, you know, over there, they've got maybe their phone in the corner, like maybe AirPods plugged in to be able to check it out, but they're only there for a few minutes before they're running off to some other meeting. Or, you know, if you're over in Europe right now, you're still probably catching the tail end of dinner, and it's just a little bit more of an awkward place. But I don't know, like that's kind of why I like switching it up a little bit too, because I think that you capture a bit of a different audience. I completely respect people that do the same. Like, do you do the same time every time with money?
Yeah, so
Magnet Money Show.
Our time is 11 a.m. every Monday and Thursday, same time. So that way, because we found we have a huge Asian audience, and they will stay up for it. We
Okay.
have a pretty good European audience, which is at 11 a.m. It's like they're getting off of work. And then the only audience we don't tailor for are the Americans, because a lot of a lot of the Pacific audience would be just waking up, and a lot of the Mid America is at work. So it's just like a huge global balance. But Rookie's also in Dubai, so we have to be like, at a reasonable hour for him to not go to bed at 4 a.m. So
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Crazy balance.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that, with the fact that you've got to make a halfway around the world coordinated, which is the beautiful thing about technology, and really the beautiful thing about this space in general, is that so much of this is global. I mean, I think 2/3 of my followers are, only 1/3 of my followers, I should say, are from the States. 2/3 are from wherever the heck else. So, okay, but before we go any further, just want to give a quick intro, quick shout out. First off, thank you to Ponzi Trader, the legend, for coming out and joining us today, aka Buyer of Blood. We're going to go over to his Twitter right now. Buyer of Ponzi.
Okay, now. Yeah, I changed it. Yeah, I'm trying to get out of the shadow ban I've been in for 2 years. Ever since
When'd you make the rebrand?
Probably like 2 weeks ago. It was a suggestion from someone who is Twitter involved. They were like, oh, maybe the shadow ban has something to do with your name being Blood, but it wasn't. I still am search banned and am deemed sensitive content. So if you don't have your sensitivity set,
no way. Well, can you change that on your profile settings though? I think you might be able to.
I know exactly why too. I'm permanently stuck as sensitive content because in 2021 I posted it was like when NFTs were becoming popular. I posted a photo of Jar Jar Binks, and it's like horrific, not safe for work, super high quality, like render of him butt naked with his balls out, like grabbing his ass.
But you're telling me there's no coming back from that?
No. I've gotten into like appeals with Twitter, and they say there is no appeal process for being permanently marked as.
Not even in the Elon days?
Not even in the Elon days, dude. It sucks. I've spent so much time trying to fucking deal with this.
Dude, that is awful.
Forever capped.
So, I mean, no, that'd be pretty ambitious. I was going to say, have you ever considered basically nuking the account and rebuilding it, Gainsey style? But it's tough to do in a bear market.
Yeah. At the time, I would do it in a new bull market, probably.
Okay, so new bull market, Ponzi rebrand 2.0 coming.
Holy shit, dude. Someone just replied to my tweet with the craziest fucking Photoshop of Rookie I've ever seen. I just sent it to you. It's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, wait. Let me see this. I'm going to have to retweet it instead.
That's a good one.
It's amazing. I thought it would have been better though if he had some type of like glimmer in his eyes, looking and seeing my PFP in his eyes.
Yeah, these people need to work harder. If you're watching this,
They've
work
got
harder
to
on your memes, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, continuing on with the intro, since I botched it on the first time, Buyer Ponzi, make sure you go to his profile now. And I need to completely change it. I've got at Ponzi Trader in the description, so I'm going to change that right now. And
Whoever has the Ponzi Trader at, I'm coming for you, bro.
we're going to get that fixed. So anyway, yeah, he is a legend, been around for a while, crypto OG, right now co-hosting the Magnet Money Show with Rookie, member of Wetards DAO. I'm not going to say that's one of the reasons why you might still be shadow banned also, but
That's definitely
but it may or may not be part of it. So, but I need to give Money Magnet Show. I thought that you guys were locked a little bit ago, so I don't know why. I'm going to give it a follow. I thought I was following y'all. But if you're not following them, give them a follow. Watch their streams. He already shouted it out. You said Monday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right?
That's correct.
So Monday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to win some money, they've given away over $600,000 in prizes so far this year to listeners. So that's insane.
It's actually wild. It's all real money, and it's such a hard concept to describe to people that we're just giving away money, but it's exactly what we're doing.
What's the most you've ever given away in one
day?
One day.
Stream? 78,000.
78,000. Dude, that is...
It was crazy. It was a very long stream. I had just flown in from Brazil. This was in July. It was with Maine. I had just flown in. I landed at like 6 a.m. I hopped in the Uber. I fucking got on stream at like in the Uber, and we just started. And we were gambling too, and we won $700,000 that day gambling. 700K gambling, but it was net 500 after we lost a bunch. And so it actually, like, the stream went on for like 2 hours, but it's a lot harder to give away money than you think, because we have like parameters. If we're going to give you money, you got to have your camera on, you got to have your microphone on, you got to show your face. And so like we're just cycling through people giving like 2,000, 5,000, 2,000,
so
5,000.
Is it the guests that you have on, like Cousin Crypto, when he comes on next week? Are you giving him an opportunity to win something, or is it just random people that are in the audience you're bringing up there with Restream? You're sending them the link live during the show. They're coming up there randomly. They're not expecting it going into it. Like, or do you do a drawing kind of before for the opportunity to come up on stage, and you arrange all of that ahead of time?
So it's I'm the guy who's pulling people up. How it works is we put a Google form out like 20 minutes before the stream. And all you put on the Google form is your Twitter, how you found us, and an ERC20 address, because that's how we're paying people out. We're just sending them USDT. We'll get 500 submissions on the form, and then I'll sit there. Like, I have 3 monitors up, so I'll keep the form on one monitor, I'll keep the stream on one monitor, and I'll keep the chat in the other. And I'll literally look for a cool username, copy paste it into my Twitter, I'll DM you the link, be like, all right, hop on, make sure your camera and your microphone's on. And then we'll let them in, and then we'll fucking play Pictionary, or we'll play fucking charades, or we'll make them spin a wheel. We made up a wheel where you can spin it to win some money. Like, you got all kinds of options to play games. And then we send you money and we kick you off. And so, like, when we bring people to co-host, it's the chance to give their audience money. So, like, when we brought up Action Man, he's got a huge, super loyal fan base. We broke viewership numbers on that stream. We got 6,000 viewers. And we were concurrent. We had about 4,500 the whole time. Our peak was 60.
Okay, he's not a CT guy though, right?
No,
I'm looking at an
Action
Man that sounds like a sports betting.
No sports betting either, bro. Shout out Jared Carpio. He wanted me to shout his name out in the chat. But he's just like an IRL streamer, dude. He streams 24/7 on Kick, pretty much, like, all the fucking time. And he's just got the craziest, like, he gets about 2,000 to 4,000 viewers per stream. So when we collabed, that was like crazy numbers. We were on the front page of Kick the whole time. He's really big on Kick.
Oh, so he's live right now.
Probably. He
definitely is. I've got him up there. I've got no sound on, but
dude, he's always on. I told you, bro. He's literally always fucking streaming, like 24/7, dude. It's crazy.
I'm kind of curious if I stream somebody else's stream like this. I mean, there's no way that YouTube catches this and DMCA's me and takes down this video.
No.
I'm not big enough. Like we've got 34 viewers in here right now.
There's nothing wrong with that because he's not like streaming intellectual property type content.
Yeah.
Unless he's like listening to music and it's like copyrighted music. That's the only time you'd get in trouble there. But you can stream his content. Like you can. It's a reactionary or a parody type video.
Dude, like what the heck is he? This is him, right?
Dude, he has got. You think CT is weird? He has got the most turbo autistic. I can't even describe his crowd, dude. It's so different. Like super hardcore autism. Like loyal though. Wild, dude. I've never seen anything like it. I really have not. It's something else, dude.
Bro, that is wild. And he's got, let's see, 3,200 concurrent viewers right now just watching this shit.
Yeah. He's top. He's the 9th biggest Kick streamer.
Okay, so he's exclusively on Kick. Which, dude, I want to get to Kick here in a minute. Before I do that, though, a couple other things. I'm terrible at my intro. So a couple other things that y'all need to do outside of following Ponzi. Once you do that, I'm going to do it because I have no shame. Give this a like and a retweet on Twitter. Give it a comment too. Bring more people in here. Let's get this rolling. And one of the things that sucks about Twitter is if you at somebody in this, right? It automatically makes the tweet into a reply and it doesn't get as many viewers. But then on top of that, if you put a link to an external site like YouTube, absolutely nukes any type of engagement. So you've got to give it the retweet to kind of get out of that. And I've got no shame. 13 minutes later, X, if I can do it, you can do it. Right?
That's the one thing I don't like about X is that he's like, Elon is super strict with how now you're tweeting external links. They get fucking horrible.
But you want to know the other thing though? Man, the other thing about this Ponzi is that I think you literally pay for it when you're tweeting out external links, because I found that out from the past few cycles of payments from X. I got as much, if not higher, of an engagement number for my first 2 weeks of August. But I was really going hard in the streaming during those 2 weeks, nearly every day, lots of link to YouTube. Dude, my pay for that cycle, $75. $75
wow.
Versus the other two were sandwiched in nothing insane, but somewhere around like 500. So I think that it literally was because of all of the external links to YouTube. Every single time I did it, he's like, oh, there's like $100 off, or there's like 10 or 20 bucks off, right? So I think that not just are you nuked on the engagement side, Elon is doing it to where if you continue to tweet out links, and this is my experiment right now. You know, I took the 2 weeks off kind of there on the tail half, pay bumped back up, even though my overall impressions and engagement was right where it was the first half of the month. So if there is a huge difference here for this first half of September, then I will know for a fact, because I've been pretty active on Twitter, at least decently, but I'll know for a fact that it's completely to do with tweeting out the links.
That's crazy. That is, man, you got to respect it, but you can't at the same time.
Yeah. So anyway, but okay, I want to ask, what was it that brought y'all over to Kick?
Number one, there was no censorship, so we could start gambling. Essentially, we actually got nuked from YouTube. We had a YouTube account, and we couldn't gamble on YouTube anymore. They literally didn't allow us to. So we went to Twitch, and then we were like, well, Twitch is censoring everything anyway, so let's fucking go to Kick. And then we went to Kick because that's where the big migration was happening. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything, but we did get offered a Kick deal, a streaming deal with Kick. We haven't accepted it yet.
So would it be complete exclusivity is basically what the deal is? They're like, we'll pay you X amount. If you only stream with us, we're going to give you X amount.
Yeah. But we pretty much only stream with them already. So,
well, would that mean that you can't say that you did a recording of the video, that you couldn't then after the fact go put it on another platform or podcast or something else? Like,
no, that's fine. We don't I mean, I didn't review the contract. It's been a verbal offer, and we're going back and forth with them. And they want month to month. We want like year guaranteed, and this and that. So there's just like, we're kind of in the middle and kind of just left it as is. We're going to build our audience a little bit more before we revisit. But I don't think it's that intense. I think that it's just we can't stream at the same time to other platforms.
10-4, man. Well, I mean, I could see why, you know, I guess both sides of the coin. Where I was, when I do this, I would co-stream to both YouTube and to Twitch. But what I realized was, and maybe I should do it again, I easily could with Streamlabs, right? Like you can go to both simultaneously pretty easily. But what I almost figured that it does is it kind of splits viewership a little bit.
Yep, 100%.
And if you split viewership, it kind of nukes the algo on both. So if you're going to do it, you may as well just do it on one and kind of focus on that, primarily growing it. And as much as I initially was focused on Twitch, you know, I like, you don't hear too much about the Twitch guys on like the biggest crypto Twitch streamers are nothing compared to the big YouTubers for 100%. Crypto, right? So I really think as far as building a platform, that's why I finally just made the decision, okay, I'm going to switch and basically primarily do it on this, because I just think they're, you know, as far as overall growth for the channel, that it'd be a little bit healthier just to stick with YouTube. But I mean, either way, kind of like what y'all are doing, I think it's important to diversify off X some.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge audience that isn't on Twitter, and or X now, I guess it's fucking X. But we've like kind of isolated ourselves as the original crypto Twitter, but there's a bunch of idiots out there that you can capture, you know? It's not just us in our little circle. There's a huge circle of other idiots that you can tap into and expand with.
No, yeah, and that's what it is, man. It's like so much of the audience, you think living in the Twitter bubble, that say even at the peak of, you know, the Kaleo account, when everything was just going absolutely insane, right? Like I thought the entire world knew who my account was within the, you know, the crypto space. But you go outside of Twitter and you realize how much of an echo chamber it is, because a lot of the YouTube audience had zero clue anything about my presence, who I was, anything else. And a lot of these YouTubers, as much shit as we give them, you know, like the Bit Boys of the world and the Moon Carls and the Martini guys, as much as we laugh at them and make fun of them, and as much as they rarely pop up on our timeline, even if they're not blocked, right? Like, and they've got that many followers, they rarely pop up because they've got this entirely different crowd that follows them than who follows the majority of CT. And as much as I think that they mainly have just this big normie audience, whereas we have the actual people that are building, that are running the projects, the real money, you know, they've got this cumulative mass of mid-curve people that just follow whatever the heck they say. And it's because they've got no exposure to the Twitter side of things.
It's crazy, dude. It really does blow my mind that a lot of people actually listen to them and look up to them. Like they are not doing anything beneficial for the community, in my opinion.
Okay, so let's go to the chat real quick. Again, appreciate you guys coming out here. Actually, you know, one other thing outside of the retweets and stuff, if you could like that video, if you have not liked it yet, that would definitely help. If you haven't hit the sub button yet, you know, definitely hit the sub button. Drop a comment at the end of the video. Let me know if the music's too loud. Somebody was telling me the music was too loud and overbearing yesterday, but I rewatched it and, you know, it sounded pretty easy to me. So if the music is blocking out Ponzi, blocking out me, let me know. I'll adjust that as well. Still experimenting with a lot of this type of stuff. I don't know who Howard Stern is. That's pretty embarrassing. I know the name, but I don't know off the top of my head. So, but you know, I'm going to take that as a compliment, Mari. I appreciate that, I think. Or fuck you, one or the other. Sorry for the language.
No, it's a good thing. He's a talk show host. So bullish for Kaleo.
Amazing. Yeah, dude, this is like, It's going to blow up in its time. We'll look back at these days, Ponzi, both for you and for what you guys are doing with the giveaways too. It's insane just how low the viewership is relative to the opportunity.
Yeah. It's dude. I mean, everyone we've kind of tried to tap into, even with influencers, like we're partnering with influencers. They're like, this is a scam. Like, you guys are not giving away that much money, and we don't have the viewership to even justify giving away that much money. And honestly, it's not profitable. Like, to anybody watching this, you guys are like, oh, you're giving away $600,000. You guys must have made X amount. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, operating at a
you're making more money than they are.
Yeah, like our audience is making 10 times more money than we are in this, like no joke, but this is a complete negative. Like this, especially this last month was, I operated at a massive net negative. It was hilarious to even see. So, but it's investing in yourself in theory, right?
It is. So what is the ultimate dream? What's the ultimate goal with the show? Do you guys have anything else that you're working on that you can kind of share as far as direction for where it's heading? I saw that you did a collab with somebody that was completely non-CT also, not just the guy from Kick that you're talking about, the action dude, but there was another random YouTube influencer.
He's like a prankster guy.
Yeah. So a prankster guy. How did you guys reach out and make that connection? Is it somebody, do you have a team that's out there reaching out to these guys that has connections to a lot of influencers in multiple spaces? Or is it just y'all like randomly trying to slide into the comments, DMs, being like, hey, we're here. We've got something for you. Come and check us out.
Yeah, it's a blend of all of it. So I personally knew some of the FaZe guys.
Okay.
From meeting them and going out, and I reached out to one of them, and he's like, yeah bro, just shoot my manager like everything about your stream and we'll all get on a call. And then I shot his manager everything about our stream. I was like, look, we're gonna give money away to your audience, and they were like, that doesn't sound real. But then we got on a call and we showed them what we do, and they were like, all right, that's pretty cool. And he like manages a roster of in real life influencers across the US. So he was like, let's see what we can do. So we started with him, and we kind of saw the input and kind of gauged how it went, and then we're using that to like branch off and try other industries. But the ultimate goal, number one, the biggest goal of the year is to give away $1 million by the end of the year, which is, we were on track as of July, but now we're at like 620, which makes it a little more difficult. We have to give away a lot of money. We have to give away $370,000 in, just 3 more months.
So and one thing I was a little bit confused about also, right? Like, and I've just got to ask about it. If you can't talk about it, no big deal. So you've got a partnership with Rollbit and Bybit going. How the hell did you guys swing that?
That is all rookie, man.
That's insane, man.
That is all fucking rookie, bro. I got to give that to him. He, he has a massive audience, so there's brand deals being thrown at him all day. So that just came at, the right time, and it wasn't for the Magnet Money shows, for him personally. And then he was like, fuck, like, what can I do with this to leverage it and to build something? And, we were out in Singapore together earlier this year, and you were just shooting ideas, pitching shit. And then, it kind of just unfolded the way it did.
Wait, bro, is it your birthday?
Tomorrow. How do you know that?
I mean, I just had this second sense that kind of popped off that it was your birthday.
And I saw the chat. Akil, okay, how does this guy know that, bro? Akil, how do you know that, bro?
How does Akil know that?
I haven't said anything. You tweeted it,
like, is it on your profile page?
No, I mean,
are you sure?
Profile
it might be, and you may have just not.
It is, dude. I didn't even know that.
Okay, it is.
I was kind of geeked out for a second, dude.
So you had no idea that you had your birthday on here, like on your. I guess that is a balloon thing. Do I have mine?
How do I get that out of there?
No, I don't. But yeah, the entire world knows right now.
That's so lame. I can't even. I can't even hide that, dude.
Dude, there's got to be a way. Like, you can do it during this show. It's going to pop up. But I mean, for the 36 people that are here, they're very aware that it's your birthday tomorrow now.
That's so funny, bro. Wow, that's pretty good. I can't even lie. That's pretty good.
I mean, I know that people share their birthday. Like, Kobe would tweet out something about his birthday all the time, and he's doxxed, so it is what it is. But I just feel like it's another level of,
Yeah, that
as
actually makes me want to.
Like another level that you're taking it to reveal certain. So I've just been a little bit too, too careful maybe with it. But I mean, big accounts have done it, right? So it's not anything crazy.
What it comes down to, like when I first doxed, like my initial reaction was, if celebrities have their birthdays out and all their information, then like, what's the issue? And like, at the end of the day, if you have like a general level of protection, whether it's, physical protection or operational security protection, as long as you have a physical level or like some sort of base standard.
You're not using 2FA as, with your cell phone. That's the biggest thing, because you've got a chance of being SIM swapped, which I know that you thought you were being SIM swapped earlier today or yesterday, right?
No, that was a joke.
Okay, I was like, man. Well, when people tweet that out, a lot of the times it's true. Like, there was a guy that I listened to recently.
Gainsey twice in one month got SIM swapped.
Yeah, so I mean, Gainsey, right? But then on top of Gainsey, there was another account that I listened to that said they took all of the proper precautions. They knew that there was a chance that they were getting SIM swapped. They went to the store, did everything they possibly could to say, hey, do not let this happen. And it still happened in front of them. So there were some signs that somebody was potentially trying for it. And they knew, and they tried to stop it, and they couldn't. So that's kind of what I figured might have been happening, was just that somebody was trying something and that you were like, oh, crap, like this could potentially be going down. You were trying to actually give everyone a heads up.
Yeah, no. So honestly, I was playing poker last night and I got a notification from Apple that my Apple ID had been activated on another device, and I kind of geeked out. But then I looked at the device list and there was nothing there. So I was like, all right, maybe that's it. It's not actually, I'm not actually being SIM swapped. So it was like a blend of reality with fake.
Okay. So there was, like, I don't think it's a bad thing. If you think there's something potentially going on that's weird, tweet it out. Let people know. Yeah, absolutely. Because the worst case scenario is other people losing money because because of you somehow. So, well, dude, that's the thing I found ridiculous. Is just how many of these large accounts actually use their phone for 2FA.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Well, so if you guys are listening to this and you want to hack either Kaleo and I, good luck, because we don't use cell phones for 2FA.
No. Like,
unless, no, I'm kidding.
No, but anyway, yeah, if you're out there in general, it doesn't matter your account size, don't use your cell phone for 2FA for anything. Just don't. Be smarter than that. The other thing too, like I don't use my cell phone for my authenticator apps either, because I've got a couple different devices I use, but I don't use the phone, because I had one time where I was using my phone with it and I had some type of, basically the phone nuked. I think I was like working out in the oil field or something. I dropped it really hard off the rig. Phone shattered. It was useless. Had to go get a new one. And when I got the new one and you upload all of your apps again, it completely nukes the settings. It doesn't save your settings for 2FA. So I lost all of my 2FA settings. And anyway, like, I know that you can back it up on whatever other devices, but I didn't have the backups, any of the secret, phrases, whatever, written down. So there were all these accounts. It is hell getting them back if you don't have the authenticator passphrase or the authenticator itself trying to go back and get it back and prove your identity. Especially for some of those old things, there were like some exchanges that I wasn't doxed on, right? So then you're going through and they're like asking for identity information when it doesn't really prove anything. I don't know. Have you ever run into anything like that before?
Dude, I had that exact same issue in 2017 to 2018. I had one phone with an authenticator and water damage. And surely enough, I ended up having to send a photo to Bitrix of me holding my passport with a piece of paper written, the date, the time that it was me trying to access my account because I lost 2FA. So I'm sure 90% of people in crypto have had to deal with that.
Yes, it was Bitrix for me too. And
Yeah.
Bitrix, I just decided not to send them anything because I don't know for a fact. Maybe there's a decent amount left on there and I'm an idiot, but I'm pretty positive it was just dust. So I started thinking through it and I was like, yeah, not worth it just for like whatever dust might be on there.
Yeah, someone in the chat says, "What's a better method than using phone for 2FA?" You can still use your phone, but
Yeah.
don't use SMS. Use an app like Authy. Not Authy. I don't like Authy because it actually connects to your Apple account. But if you use Google Authenticator, it's
Yeah.
standalone to the device, not to. So, like for example, if you're using Authy, if somebody logs into your Apple ID, they can just back up all of the 2FA from your Apple ID. But if you're using Google Authenticator, it's unique to the device. So if someone gets your Apple ID, they SIM swap you, they can't pull up the backup from Google Authenticator. It's strictly on that device. So Google Authenticator is what I use, but then you've got YubiKeys and other devices. I'm just a simple Google Authenticator enjoyer.
Yeah, I use Google Authenticator also, but Roybot, my suggestion would also be, and maybe this isn't the best thing to do, but it's what I do. Like I'll use an iPad also. So you have it on two devices. You can just scan whatever the QR code is and upload it. So if something happens to one of your devices, you've got the other. So you don't run into that situation that we were talking about, that say your phone gets destroyed and you're like, oh crap, I didn't have everything written down. Well, now you at least have all those authentication codes on a separate device that you then can go back and use it to restore everything from.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I've found to work well. But yeah, backup to the backup, basically.
Exactly that.
So Okta, I've never heard of Okta.
Is that another one someone suggested?
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said, Narco said, I work on IT for a security firm and they forced me to use Okta to verify. So I have no idea what Okta is, but
sounds legit.
It does sound legit. Like we'll see. But then again, a lot of the things that I feel like corporations force you to use are incredibly inefficient and actually have more holes in them security wise than just a lot of the stuff that you can go and freelance and get yourself. So I know at least the old corporate company that I worked for, that was the case. Dude, I am curious, what's your take on the market right now? What do you think about where we are?
Man,
have we bottomed?
Yeah, I mean, look, I have a feeling it's sideways crab market until all participants have left the sideways crab market. But I do think that the generational low is in. I don't think we go below 15K, whatever that was, 14.5, 15. I think that is the low. Whether the low gets swept again, I mean, it totally can. What's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years is that the use of leverage is going to be absolutely deterred, or actually, it's not going to be as exorbitant as it was with FTX, and retail isn't going to be.
You're basically saying from a retail perspective.
Yeah. I think the bottom is in, right? Are we going to see a parabolic move like we've seen? Yes. Are we going to see it next year or in 10 years? I don't know. I don't know when we see that kind of movement, but I do know that we are going to $100,000 Bitcoin someday. Mm-hmm. So the ultimate variable that you have no control over in a scenario like this is the time frame. So what can you do as a logical investor is just sit and pray and hold and accumulate. But if a lot of you, if you've just entered the space, leverage sounds like a great concept, and it is if used, correctly. The issue is if used incorrectly, it will drain you of all funds. and then you'll watch the market leave you behind when it does go to six figures. That is my perspective. But yes, we've bottomed. Long story short.
Okay, so we bottomed. Okay, gun to your head. Right now, we're at 26K. Do we see, like low 20s or high 20s first from here?
Visually, the chart looks like we see low 20s. It looks like we're going to sweep liquidity down to 23K, and then, who knows what happens next. But the fact that inflation is rampant, the fact that and not trying to be a meme, but the bankers are accumulating Bitcoin, and BlackRock and the ETFs, and we got the halving in less than a year. It is lining up to be one of the most bullish futures ahead. So what does that mean for you? Don't leave the space. It is times like this when despair is at max value and everybody's panicking and is giving up and is getting jobs and is doing something else, that is a great opportunity for buying, in my opinion.
Okay, love it. So I agree with that completely, actually. I actually kind of do think that it's set up for one quick sweep down to the low 20s as well. I almost think that if we get it, though, really realistically, anything in here, dude, you should just ape everything in this area. If you get between 20 to 25K, ape. Realistically, even here from a longer term perspective, I still think it's an amazing place to buy. But I don't think it lasts too long. I think you wick kind of back up. And, I don't think even if we got an ETF passed, like, we're not going to see an immediate shot up to the highs, right? It's going to take, dude, and I hate that I've got so much noise on this chart. I apologize in advance, but it is... It makes sense to me, and it's one of those things where it's like, I've got it on there, and I like the notes. I guess I could just hide. How that looks. I could hide the notes, but, you've got in there kind of like the time from the halving to the cycle bottom for each one of them, right? So the duration here, that was 778 days, 872 days that last time around. This time was 908 days, so still right within that window. A lot of people have talked about how this bear market has just extended so much longer than any other bear market really has, but realistically, it's pretty much in line with what we saw from the duration of the halving of the others, just slightly extended, and we just haven't had quite the same magnitude of bounce, but you kind of expect that as the market cap grows, right? And especially after, what happened here with this deleveraging, you were talking about leverage in the system. I agree with you from the retail perspective, but as much as shit went down with 3AC and FTX and Alameda and all the other, Celsius, et cetera, that got blown up due to some form of leverage from the VC perspective, I still think that leverage is going to increase. It's just the name of the game. If people can leverage their money, they're going to, right? Maybe we have some more things put in place, but I think from the, the VC type of perspective, like, it will be blown up even more than it was last time around.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And I also have to agree with leverage increase, but I have to readjust my statement that retail leverage is not going to increase, in my opinion, until we get new money in the space. But I think corporate leverage is only increasing. Corporate leverage and actually leveraging assets to buy Bitcoin is only increasing. But retail trading on derivatives exchanges is some of the lowest volumes of the last 5 years currently. It's not great. Well, actually, it's great for the health of the market, but it's not great for retail against retail.
Well, okay, so the other thing, and maybe this isn't fair of me to really call this the base range. One thing that I want to compare again, you're looking at that, like, say this was the base range from where the low starts to where that bear market rally really started. Base range there took about 128 days. Here it took 68. Though I actually think both this bottom and this base range would have been moved back had it not been for FTX. So I feel like that's a little bit of a black swan thing that kind of adjusted these slightly, but I still think it's within the total range. But then you look at this rally, dude, from that breakout to the peak, that was only 84 days. And everybody talks about how great things were there in the middle of 2019. Dude, it was only 84 days of greatness. Outside of that, it was down only. So here, whenever they're talking about, this cycle's so different, it's really not. This was 90 days from there to the, that peak. And I guess it went a tiny bit higher here, like a couple $100, but realistically, I'm calling that the peak of the rally. So it was about the same exact duration. So everything right now is kind of in line with where we were last time around. I don't know. Oops, move that back too far. So I think right now we're kind of in this phase, this last quarter, where the last quarter, maybe you get a slow grind up, but kind of sideways, kind of stick close to this line. I think that's where we are. So maybe optimistically, we see 40K again before the halving, but I think that's optimistic. I realistically think more chop in this range, not way too much lower, but slow grind up before we really get that big ramp up, Q1 and Q2. And I say Q1 and Q2, these are quarters of the halving. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think there's any chance we see any massive rally prior to that?
If it means anything, I've literally, and not even joking, I've leveraged an asset. I own real estate. I've leveraged a rental property that I own, and I've parked some of that cash into Bitcoin.
Okay.
And it's a simple thought process. Truly, I'm paying 6.25% interest on the refi for the building. So I need to put my money in an asset that's going to outperform the loan at 6.25% in a year. And I think the risk reward for buying BTC at 25K is better than sitting in cash. Not only that, but we've got the halving coming, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I don't have a liquidation per se. The building itself is paying off. It's rented out, so it's paying off the loan. Obviously, in 30 years, if I let the loan run its course, then I'm going to spend $120,000 in interest. But I think that Bitcoin will be 50K in the next 2-3 years. So does it make sense mathematically for me to park my money in a risk asset? Yes, I'm young, and yes, the reward is potentially outweighing the risk. So yes, I think we go to 50K within a year from now. But I'm not going to leverage that money on top of the leverage of the loan, right? Because that's how you lose it.
Yeah. Here's what it comes down to, though, right? Whether you're in this bubble right here, and you bought anywhere within this. And remember, this one right here was a huge range. You're talking like 10K down to, which again, I'm not even going to include the COVID wick, but like 10K down to 6K. And it did hit 3K, like you were extremely lucky if you loaded up there, but like call it 10K to 6K, same type of thing here. If it's like 30K to 20K, wherever you buy in this range, I have a hard time seeing this model break quite yet. I think that it's got at least one more of these runs left in it before it either flattens. Yeah. Because, if you extend these curves, right, you start to get to where it's like, oh, okay.
Diminishing returns, essentially.
Diminishing returns. So it's got to break down or up one way or the other. Yeah. Right? And
if it breaks up, in my opinion, that's the financial system failing in the US, because we're going against a hyperinflation type event if we break out of that.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And so many people think this line right here, and it kind of is like derived from what you see on those rainbow charts, these lines, but it relates back. I've got a chart that I've done back in the day that, where I put in Excel. Like I took all of the, price data from the beginning, and I put all of the supply data. This follows the supply curve perfectly. If you match the supply curve growth right here, it matches kind of like the median of that line really, really well.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, as you look at the supply curve growth, it really flattens out starting realistically right around here. So again, this next cycle is going to be really the pivotal one, in my opinion, for determining, okay, what is the direction this really goes in? Are we going to have that complete economic collapse? Or will it be just some form of adoption, one form or the other? Something's coming.
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time.
Well, okay, here's, devil's advocate question. Say that it's a breakdown, but it's a breakdown because there, say, is another asset that's overtaken it. Do you think there's any chance that ETH or something else maybe actually flips BTC down the road? Do you think the flipping's even possible?
I think it's possible. I don't detach it from the realm, but I do think that nonetheless, if it does outperform, they're both still going up. So I don't see a world where Bitcoin goes below 10K and ETH is at 10K. I think it's a world where BTC goes to 100K and ETH is at like 50 flippening. I don't know, man. Mathematically, I guess that would be a flippening, huh? If ETH was half of BTC in theory, market cap.
No, it would be.
Yeah. So, but they're still going up, right? They're both still going up in that scenario. And if there is another flippening where BTC is 2K and ETH is, $500 or $1,000, then I'm fucking concerned.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the more that I've been in the space, the more I've been open to it could potentially happen one day. I still don't think it's likely, at least for a long time. But if there was a narrative that popped up and made it happen, I wouldn't be shocked at this point. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I am curious. Quick pivot. Everybody that's in the chat, if you guys wonder what it's like and why I miss notifications and that type of stuff sometimes, it's not that I ignore you. I refreshed this page a few minutes ago, just came back to it. It's always 20 plus. I go through here and boom, 20 plus. You're just scrolling down for all the news stuff. It's so easy to lose track of what's happening in here. And the crazy thing about that is I have notifications on here just from people that follow me, right? People that have verified emails that follow me, etc. So this is already really filtered down from what it used to be and what it could be. Now I'm not sure, do you still get a decent amount of stuff popping up? I mean, you've got 41,000 followers, so you probably have a similar type of experience.
Honestly, at night, when I make a tweet and go to bed, and then I wake up and it was one of those that, either pissed off a lot of people or got a lot of people excited, I'm just too lazy to scroll through all the notifications, and I'll just miss so many replies, even from my homies, like Maine or anybody like that, and then see it 3 days later, be like, oh, my bad.
Yeah,
and just fuck with them and be like, I just don't care about you, honestly. I'll take that approach,
dude. That's my thing. I've been so bad with DMs too, and I'm really trying to get back on it, but man, I don't know. I need to. Oh shoot, dude, have you seen this whole thing popping up? Have you seen the squad they've got on stage?
What?
Because of this, I'm gonna be thinking.
Okay, wait, you can't hear that, but anyway, they've got Mario Naval.
Dude, shut the
Crypto Wendio, Altcoin Daily. What's this guy? What is that guy's name? I feel like I've seen his face. But he dude, just look at that face. Do you trust that face? Do you trust that hair? I don't.
Who is that?
I don't know, but he looks grifty as hell, man. Greasy as hell. I don't trust him.
It's time to sink or swim.
It's time to sink or swim. Killer whales.
Dude, what? Is this a TV show or is this?
Yeah, they have a TV show that they're producing that's
supposed
like
to be
Shark Tank.
Oh my.
It's like Shark Tank, and you've got Crypto Wendio, and and I actually I don't know. I've gotten along with Wendy, and Altcoin Daily is not as bad as I thought. I've interacted with him a little bit. I think Altcoin Daily is one of those things where he grew his account super quickly on YouTube.
Dude, I've never even seen this account. This is my first time ever seeing this account. I didn't even know
Ninja is into. He's always in spaces and that type of stuff, and I guess he just made the connections with them. He always said he was from a producing background, But anyway, so it's going to be interesting seeing. I don't know where they're actually going to air that, but I'm just curious, what type of projects are they actually bringing on for this? And what is the true, I like the way I look at it, I guess with Shark Tank, people have pretty formulated ideas at that point too. So they're not necessarily worried about somebody stealing their invention. So I guess it's got to be something similar, right? You've got to have some type of product that's been in existence, but just hasn't gained the traction that you thought. And you're like, okay, maybe this show could be the Kickstarter I need. And you've got all these people that have like millions of followers that are the ones that are on stage. They don't even necessarily have the money. They've just got the followers. I don't know.
Dude,
what do you think about it?
I hate Mario in the Fall. I think he's an absolute grifting scammer. I think he's a fucking piece of shit. And it goes to show that all you need to do is grift your way to the top for everyone forget that you're an absolute grifter.
Two things about Mario, right? Like,
but
Mario puts in
I
the
need
work.
to tell you that I gotta leave in the next 5 minutes. Just a heads up.
Yeah, that's fine, man. So I was about to honestly say wrap it up here in a little bit too. But the one thing I'll say about Mario, he actually does really put in the work. But because you can scam and you can not put in the work and you're only going to get so far. But to do what he's done, it's a combo of both, right? Like he has grifted in every single subject, but it also shows you it's like, shoot, he's outworking a lot of us too to be able to do it.
He is. You got to give that to him.
So as frustrating as it is, it's like, man, it's partially our own fault because I don't see anyone else hustling as hard as he is to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, that sucks to even think about, but it's true.
No, but anyway, guys, any other last questions that you have for Ponzi before we wrap this up?
Feel free to DM me.
Feel free to DM him. Feel free to let him know. Again, give him a follow if you haven't already. And if you have just tuned in sometime recently and you have not hit that like button down at the corner over here, hit that like button, hit that sub button as well. I'm trying to do these, get really consistent with it again. And when I do docs, and it'll be sometime soon because, like I was talking about with Ponzi, just got to clean up the page a little bit, clean up the stream, get things going, figure out a better rhythm, but it's coming, right? So I am going to docs sometime soon. Whenever I do, it'll be on here. So yeah, be on the lookout for it and drop a comment with anything that, could be done better for next stream. Any ideas you have, anybody else you want to see on here, let me know and we'll make it happen. But Ponzi, really appreciate you coming up here, man. I guess we've got one question. How do you start off your crypto career? We'll do that and we'll wrap it up.
2017, I gotta add the, illegal drug buying on the internet early on.
Okay.
But 2017, my brother hits me up in January. Yo, you remember that Bitcoin stuff? It's like $800. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's way higher than what I paid for it back in the day. And then fucking, July rolls around. He's like, brother, it's $1,300 or $1,800, whatever it was at the time. And then I was like, oh God, there's something here. And then that is when I bought my first coin, which was Oh Mice Go, OMG.
Oh, Mise Go, really?
Yeah, that one, dude, that one.
No way. I remember when that dropped. That was super hyped because it had Vitalik that was there. But that was when Vitalik, people don't give enough credit for how I think Vitalik, he kind of earned it. But dude, he just attached his name to every project that would give him some type of allocation and then willingly dumped it as soon as he could.
Wow.
But it's Vitalik.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love hearing it. So he's been around for a while. He's an OG. Make sure to check out that Magnet Money Show. Also, you might win some money.
Yo, you should co-host a stream with us one day on Magnet Money Show. We'd love to do everyone on CT just rotate around.
I'm down. I don't know if you want to wait until I docs to have.
Yeah, it'll be October because we're leaving to Singapore this weekend and we won't be back.
Wait! You're gonna be in Singapore?
Yeah, Rook and I both.
Bro, I'm flying out Monday.
I'll see you there.
Are you going to the F1?
Yeah.
Bro, yes, I'll be there also. Okay,
All right,
amazing.
perfect.
Like, I'm gonna hit you up because I really don't know. I know a few other people that I'm going down there with, but like, we need to hang when we get there. So I'm excited about that. All right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Dude, that's exciting. So, all right, man. Well, good having you. I guess I'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me.